All right, thank y'all. Really excited to get Dayo. First, let me address the injury. He had a torn Achilles in late January, and we thought it was worth the risk. This kid's a unique talent. We would have considered him in the first round if he was if he hadn't got injured, and I think a lot of teams would have. And to be honest with you, I was kind of sweating it out at where we were picking if we were going to be able to get him, because we had kind of targeted him, and I'm pretty sure he would have gone pretty quickly after us. There were some teams I know that really liked him, but I think defensively we're going to be front driven, and we want to be able to play 8-9 guys if we can in a rotation. And with the added 17th game, I think it's going to be really important that we have a strong rotation. There's no timeline on when he's going to be ready. We'll let the young man get healthy, and when he's ready to go, he'll go. But he is a unique talent. Morocco Brown did a lot of work on him, as did Chad Henry, but Morocco gave him a really good nickname, called him the Human Hurricane. He's all of 6'5" and 280 pounds, with really long arms and really big upside, as a rusher. He is as disruptive a defensive player as we saw on tape, this past fall. But excited to get him. Think we've made our front better on defense. And, with the losses of Autry and Justin, we knew we had some work to do. And we've still got players there we like, but we have just created great. There's nothing. Look, when you want to have great competition to play, you got to have talent. And I think we've added talent, and I think it's going to up the intensity and tempo of the group. They all play hard anyways, but now it's going to be competition for snaps, and that's a good thing. All right, fire away. Hey, George.
Hey, Chris. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but is this similar to last year with the Julian Blackman pick, where the talent of the player just overrode whatever injury concerns were there?
Yes, very similar.
Mike Chappell.
Chris, it's the obvious question. You said you were not going to force picks, and you didn't for a position. At offensive tackle, was there just someone not there either when you were on the clock or worth moving up to get?
Yeah, that's a good question, Mike. We understand, that how important the offensive line is. We had some guys go right in front of us, and we had, to be honest with you, we had, Dayo ranked higher, and you just can't force it. We've got time. We still got 4 more draft picks here, in the second day, and then, we've got till September. So we'll continue to work through it. Go ahead, Mike.
On working through it, so much talk about doing it internally, moving guys around. Is that seriously a consideration, or do you like to leave 4 guys alone and mess up just the one spot?
No, right now we would probably leave the 4 guys alone. They've all produced at a really high level, and then we'll work from there.
Charlie Clifford.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Chris. Between the Human Hurricane nickname and the personality with Dayo, I think there's going to be some magic there. What can you tell us about just the kid in general, the human being?
Really good. Look, any guy we take, we think fits when they hit up that board, we think he fits our culture and fits what we want to do. There is no doubt he fits the way we want to play. Like the 2 young men we just took, play the way we want to play. And that is with high effort and intensity. And they're going to be tremendous fits to the room and to our football team.
Stephen Holder.
Chris,
Where does Dayo play? Is he a tackle? Is he an end? Just how you see him fitting in.
Look, I think he can play anywhere, to be quite honest with you. He can play left end. He can kick inside and play the three. I think he can play right end. I think he's got a lot of flexibility, and I think that's the one thing that's, even with Quiddy, Quiddy can go inside and rush. Taekwon can go inside and rush. Rochelle can go inside and rush. So we've got some guys that got a lot of flexibility, and it's going to give our staff a chance to really mix and match defensively to number one. Look, this league's about getting to the quarterback on on passing downs, and the ability to keep guys fresh and mix and match and get your best four rushers on the field. It's important. It's critical. It's how you win games.
Zach Kiefer.
Chris, real quick, you hinted at this a second ago. 2 defensive linemen for the first 2 picks. Likely that Justin Houston is not back.
We got a pretty full room. And I love Justin, but we've got a pretty full room at this time.
And then, secondly, you have in the past, each draft has kind of had a theme. You attacked certain areas of the team, and after the draft, you kind of let us know this is what we wanted to accomplish. Is it pretty clear that you left this season and said we want to get some pass rush, we want to get bigger and get more oomph on the defensive line?
We lost 2 really good players, in Danico and Justin, who we knew were going to be very difficult to replace. And financially, with some of the things you have, they're not cheap in free agency. They don't come cheap. So we thought the best way to accomplish that was going to be through the draft, and it just worked out that way. You never, you always want to. We're always going to be a front-driven team, anyways, and we were able to focus on the defensive line at this point. Just kind of how it fell.
Okay, we'll go 2 more. Kevin Bowen.
Hey Chris, you mentioned the 4 offensive linemen, ideally keeping them in the same spots that they played in. Do you feel like your starter at left tackle's in your building right now, or do you think that's something you still have to go out and find?
Well, we got a couple young men that have played a lot of football in this league. Tevi, and he's played a lot of football, and he's played winning football. So we'll see as we go forward. We'll create competition. We'll continue to look at the market. We'll continue to look in the draft, and we'll create competition, and we'll get the best 5 guys on the field that'll play winning football.
Last one, Joel Erickson.
Chris, you've mentioned the depth on the offensive line class in the draft. Is it still possible to find a guy who can really compete there to play right away?
That's a good question. We'll see. There's some guys we like that are still, in this part of the draft. So we'll see. It's hard. Look, finding a left. I think I told you all this the other day. Finding a left tackle is not the easiest position to find, and I think there was a lot of really good players on the offensive line, and there still is guys that are going to start in the league. But specifically a left tackle, we'll see. Sometimes you need a little luck when you hit on one late in the, after the 2nd, 3rd round.
Chris, if I could jump in.
What's that?
It's not that dissimilar than your view on quarterback, right? You've been saying for a couple of years, like everyone wants you to go draft a quarterback, and you're just not going to go draft one just to draft one. You're not going to just get a left tackle just because you need one.
Just because you plug a name in there doesn't always make it the right answer. It's no different with pass rushers. Those are, I would probably tell you, those are the, along with corner, tackle, quarterback, edge rushers, and corners are the hardest to find. And, you just got to continue to draft and develop and get a little luck along the way. Our staff does a heck of a job coaching these players up, have a lot of faith in them. So we'll continue to do that.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank y'all. It was a long day, long night, wasn't it? Midnight. I miss seeing y'all. It'd be nice to have all y'all here with me right now. All right. Thank y'all. See y'all after the draft.